What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. This is Cadman Cycling. Today we're racing in Central Park. This is 8 laps around the LaGuardia loop for a total of about 24 kilometers. And this is a points race. So this is the Bullseye Points race put on by the Herd Racing League. This is the first points race I've ever done. So we had a small field. I'm in category C. There were just 6 of us signed up for the race. But we do see the other categories on the course. So we start just this group of 6 Cs, but we'll see a few of the other riders from other categories later. So like I said, first points race I've done, definitely a different strategy than I would take in a normal race. So the points race is a lot like, if you compare it to the Tour de France, it's like we're racing for the green jersey rather than the stage win. So rather than trying to get just overall first at the end of the race, the way this is set up is it's 8 laps around this LaGuardia loop, and points are awarded at the end of each lap based on positioning. So the leader of each group at the end of each lap gets, I believe it's 50 points, and then kind of works its way down from there. So if you get second, you get 49 points, and it keeps going down. We don't get the full effect in this race just because it's only 6 people in our category. But I think this race would be a lot more fun in large groups. So really, I didn't get to play out the strategy in this race since there were just 6 of us. We kind of just stayed together for the most part and raced against each other. But definitely in a large group, I think a points race would lead to a lot more surging. So here we are just half a lap in, still pretty much staying together for the most part. So really the strategy that I think would be most useful for this points race is, rather than sitting kind of in the back or the middle of the pack, as I usually would in most races, trying to just conserve energy, as we skip forward, and this is where we actually get caught by a group of bees. So it's still, there's 6 of us, 6 C riders, but there's about to be a large group of bees that kind of catch us and pass us. And this is where actually one of the strategies kind of came into this race. But I'll quickly jump back to the points race strategy. So kind of rather than sitting in the middle of the pack, this race really encourages you to lead at the end of each lap. So this continues to kind of push the pace throughout the ride as riders try to make surges at the end of each lap. But jumping back to what's happening here in the race, this is still pretty early on, 3.5 miles in. This large group of bees catches our group of 6 Cs, and some of the Cs kind of get caught up and end up surfing the tails of the bees. I wasn't exactly ready for that, and that wasn't my strategy going into it. But it turns out to actually be pretty important in our race of Cs. So I'm kind of hanging off the back. I kind of see some of the Cs stayed with the bees, but it's still very early on in the race, not even 4 miles in, still 11 miles to go. So I know I'm not going to be able to stay with the bees the entire race. So I kind of pull back a little bit here, realize I don't need to push it. But I do find I'm now in 4th out of the 6 C riders, and it seems like the other 3 have all kind of jumped in this group of bees. So I start to push it a little bit more, thinking maybe I should try to catch back on this group. But ultimately, I realize I'm not really going to be able to catch them. It's probably not worth it. So I'm just kind of waiting to see these other 3 C riders in front of me, when they'll pop out the back of the group. It kind of caught me off guard a little bit. I was expecting that the group of bees would kind of fly through, and then the 6 Cs that were together before they passed would again kind of rejoin each other after they passed. But that's not the case, and my heart rate actually touched 190 there. So I ended up kind of pushing myself kind of hard to try to stay with that pack. But those front 3 Cs are gone. They're 8 seconds ahead. They're in that pack of bees. And just like that, just by surfing tails, they were able to get away. So here we jump 7 miles forward. now again, I'm in 5th. So the top 3 C riders stayed with those Bs, and they're now 2.5, 3 minutes ahead. So they've kind of already won that C category. A 4th C rider also kind of was able to jump ahead. So it's me and this W Mara that have kind of been together for the last 7 or 8 miles. But the exact same thing happens now is I see a group of B riders behind that are about to pass, and I actually decided to use the same strategy that was used on me early in the race. I wasn't ready for it the first time, but it really worked well, just surfing the tails of the category of riders in the category above you. So in this case, I'm a C, so surfing the B's tails. And I use that exact strategy to see if I can get away from this other C that I've been riding with in the last 7 to 8 miles, since we're kind of nearing the end of this race. So I'm thinking if I can push it and just stay with this group of Bs for a little while, that I should be able to get away. And we did just skip ahead about a mile there. And on the right hand side, if we look at the time differentials again, I'm now 30 seconds ahead of W Mara. So I kind of used the same strategy that was used on me to get ahead and kind of solidify 4th place in this race for myself. So it was interesting. This was kind of something I hadn't come across before, and I don't think it was related to the points race at all. It was just kind of the strategy that was used, and the way the timing worked out, and a small group of C's. But definitely something I'll think about in future races is it can help to kind of jump on a group ahead of you and even surf the tails for a little bit. It could be a minute, it could be 2 minutes, just any extra time with them, pushing the pace can really widen the gap with the other riders in your category. So we skip forward. This is the end of the race. Again, just 6 riders in my group, so it wasn't a super close finish. Wasn't the most exciting race, but definitely a new strategy that I found pretty interesting, that I wanted to share with you guys. So coming here to the end, I secured 4th place, and definitely a lesson learned. I just enjoy these Zwift races. It was fun being in Manhattan Central Park. I haven't done many races here before. And there's really always something new to learn and always an opportunity to get better. So guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate you being here. And if you like this content, please subscribe. I love sharing these races with you and really becoming better at Zwift as a community. So until next time, this is Cadman Cycling, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.